Hello everyone, this is Mike, and here's a new true story from my channel Life Chronicles. Emily stepped off the Greyhound bus with heavy feet. She was finally in the city where Michael had grown up. The whole ride, she quietly wiped away her tears. Her life had ended when his life ended. But in just 2 months, she would give birth to their daughter. That child was the only thing keeping her from giving up completely. Emily had met Michael 2 years earlier. She had just aged out of foster care and enrolled in community college. To survive, she worked night shifts at a local factory. Michael came there as part of a team installing new equipment. The place had been bought by an investor and was being modernized. That's where it all began. One night, after helping set up the machines, Michael walked over to Emily, making her blush. Later, when her shift ended, she ran outside, exhausted. But a car pulled up beside her. Michael was behind the wheel. "Hop in, I'll give you a ride." She hesitated, then got in. They drove around all night, talking, laughing. From that day, they were inseparable. 3 months later, Emily found out she was pregnant. Michael proposed. "As soon as I wrap things up here, we'll go to my hometown. I'll introduce you to my mom and my brother," he promised. But Emily shook her head. "Not like that. You have to tell them first. I don't want to just show up, pregnant." She knew too well how wealthy families looked at foster kids. Michael left 3 months later to talk to his family. He promised to call, but then he disappeared. His phone went silent. People whispered he had left her, but Emily refused to believe it, until one day she heard the truth. Michael had been attacked outside his home. He didn't survive. Her world collapsed. Weeks later, on a rainy afternoon, Emily went to the cemetery. She wanted to say goodbye and to ask for forgiveness. The grave was fresh, covered with flowers. Beside it stood an old stone mausoleum, his family's burial place. Emily fell to her knees, sobbing. When she finally stood, she was trembling from the cold. She pushed open the mausoleum door to escape the storm. Inside, in the silence, something buzzed. On the ground lay a smartphone, an expensive one. She picked it up. The screen lit up instantly. "Hello?" Her voice cracked. "Oh, thank God. That's my phone. I lost it yesterday. Where are you?" a man asked. I'm at the cemetery, inside the mausoleum." Silence. A long pause. That was the last thing she remembered. When Emily opened her eyes, someone was shaking her. A man was kneeling in front of her. For a second, she thought it was Michael. "Michael, you're alive," she whispered. "No," he said softly. "I'm his brother." "Daniel, you must be Emily." She nodded before collapsing again. Daniel understood everything instantly. Michael hadn't lied. The girl he had spoken about with such tenderness was real. And she was carrying his child. He carried Emily to his car and rushed her to the clinic. Then he called their mother, Catherine, a strong woman who had raised 2 sons alone after her husband's death, building a business from scratch. Losing Michael had nearly broken her, but she stayed firm for Daniel's sake. When Catherine finally saw Emily, her heart sank. A foster girl, pregnant with her son's child. But the truth was written all over Emily's face. And in her bag were photos of her and Michael. Photos where he looked happier than ever. "I have to make sure this girl and my grandchild are taken care of," Catherine whispered to Daniel. 2 years passed. Little Katie now ran into her grandmother's arms laughing, while Emily studied to become a lawyer. But one day, Catherine sat Emily down for a serious talk. "How much longer are you two going to torture yourselves?" Daniel loves you. And you love him too, don't you? Emily blushed. I do. But Michael is gone, Catherine said firmly. And he's not coming back. The living deserve to live. That night, Emily stared at her phone for a long time. Finally, she opened Daniel's contact and typed just 2 words. I'm ready.